Hello Lovies, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gina, aka Gina Louise. I say it all the time. I have a clothing brand, Gina Louise. It was named after my grandmother who taught me how to sew, and the name stuck and people call me Gina Louise. So anyway, I am doing, my brand started by doing one-of-a-kind stuff. I used to go to thrift stores. I would buy vintage clothing. I would redesign it into something else, and it started to blow up, and I was getting so many customers, and everybody wanted a one-of-a-kind, and they liked my style, and it got to the point where I couldn't do one-of-a-kinds anymore. It was just so out of control, so I started manufacturing in Los Angeles and in China. During the pandemic, unfortunately, that closed me down because the factories were closed. But I still love designing, and I still will be gonna get back and put some lines out. So I'm starting to do some more one-of-a-kinds, because to me that is the funnest thing ever, to just go into my little studio in my own little world and just create something different and fun and something that you don't see out there. And I like wearing clothes that you don't see all over, although in my last 4 or 5 intros I'm wearing the same sweater because it's freezing in New York and I feel warm in this sweater. But anyway, so one of the things I'm starting out for spring is I had these made up, these overalls in this like beigey cotton, drop cloth cotton, and I'm actually going to embellish them all. I say all, I don't know how many I'm going to do at first, but I'm going to do one with you here on YouTube to show you how fun it is if you'd like to do it yourself. So yes, I am doing these. They will be a small Gina Louise spring line that will be only sold on Etsy. Maybe Amazon. I haven't decided if I want to do that yet, but definitely on Etsy. And so these drop cloth overalls for spring, I'm going to embellish them with the following. You may have seen this in one of my other videos, but I like buying these double-sided pillow covers because you actually save a lot of money buying these rather than fabric when you want to get these big flowers, these big roses, and put them on as patches. So I'm going to embellish them with these, and I'm going to embellish them with some pretty birds. So let's get started, and when the video is over, I will put a link to where you could buy the ones that I made on Etsy. Let's get started. First, I take my electric scissors and I open up the pillow, and I save all the zippers that are on these pillows for later on to use for another project. Then I take out my heat and bond, and I unroll it, and I place my pillow cover on it. I cut it to the size of my square pillow, and then I take my iron and I press it on. Remember that the bumpy side of the heat and bond is the side that has the glue, and that is the side that you want to touch the back of your fabric. And then you're going to just put your hot iron on it, and you're going to place it there and press down for 10 seconds, move it to the next spot, press it for 10 more seconds. I placed a piece of brown craft paper at the end while I was ironing, and just in case there was any laying on the edge, I didn't want to get it on my iron and ruin it, so I just cut the brown paper off. Now I'm just cutting out all my flowers. Now I'm just cutting up the sides of the legs of the overall so that I can put on the patches. I'm going to show you 3 different ways: sewing, heat and bond, and also Fabri-Tac glue. If your overalls have pockets, make sure you stop cutting underneath the pocket, or when you sew the sides back up, you're going to lose your pocket. So here's what your overall should look like. You have the leg open so that you can have easy access to applying the patches. Here is my pile of pretties that I made into patches, and I'm going to play around with them and figure out how I would like to design these overalls. Of course, the first thing that is attached is my label. Now I'm just playing around with the patches and figuring out how I'd like to place them, but you will see later on that I changed my mind and changed it all up again. So I love this fabric with the tiny little rosebuds, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to put a strip of it on the inside of the overall so that when I flip them up you expose the fabric, but I didn't have a big enough piece. But later on I found another scrap piece in my hoard and I was able to do it. So instead I started out making some hearts out of it. After I cut the hearts out, I just pinned them to where I thought they would look cute on my overalls. And I was pinning some of the other ones, like this magnolia flower that you'll see in a couple minutes. I actually used some interfacing. I ironed some fusible interfacing on the back of that one because it was a very light silky fabric, and I wasn't going to iron it on, but I was going to sew it on. So I took the overalls over to my sewing machine because these are the ones that I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch around the edges of all of these. And I had so many problems. The stitches were loose, they were terrible. I don't know what was going on. I changed the tension, I changed the length of my stitches, I even changed my needle, thinking maybe it was dull from my last project. But leave in the comment below if you have loose stitches, what else could it be other than the tension, the length of the stitches, or a needle? I was going crazy. I was absolutely going crazy trying to get this to do a nice zigzag stitch. So after I did that, I decided to put some embroidery around it because I thought that would look so cool, because I want these to be very hippie-like. So now I'm just doing my zigzag stitch around the heart and the flower, and I will show you how terrible the stitches came out. See, look how funky the stitches came out. And I just kept changing the tension and the length, and it was just getting these funky stitches. I really don't know what happened. If you have any idea, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what the heck was going on here. Here are more funky stitches, even on the other fabric. So, I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what happened. Maybe I need to clean out my sewing machine. Okay, now that I'm done with that disaster, no, it'll be okay. It'll fray the edges and I'm fine with that. These are supposed to be like that boho hippie. So I mentioned before that I found more of the tiny pink rose fabric, and I am measuring the width of the length at this point because I opened them up, the bottom of the overalls, and I'm going to just cut 2-inch strips from the tiny rose fabric, and I'm going to sew that with a straight stitch along the bottom on the inside so that when I cuff up the overalls you can see the tiny rose fabric. So I measured it, it was 22 inches, my fabric was less than that, so I cut 2-inch strips, sewed them together, then cut the 22 inches. I sewed it along the bottom in 3 straight strips, kind of gave it a little quilted look, even though it wasn't quilted, and that came out very cute. So here I'm just cutting off the extra piece because, like I said before, it was too long. And here it is stitched. I did 3 rows, top, bottom, center, and I have it cuffed up so you could see it cuffed up. And now I'm going to take a little piece of that leftover rose fabric and I'm going to fold it over the pockets and put like a little like not bias, because it's not bias tape, but just a little trim on the top. So I took it over to my iron, I ironed it flat, I ironed it in half so it would sit better, and I sewed it on the pocket. And there it is, it's sewn on. Still got my pocket there. So I took some of my daisy lace fabric here and I cut out a few hearts. So I'm upcycling one of my tops from my old stock that was made from the daisy lace. It was a tunic. And I did some hearts. So I grabbed my embroidery thread because I wanted to do that 60s look, and I was just going to outline the hearts. I think I'm going to do this one in the hot pink, and I'm going to do the magnolia flower in the white and a light pink on the tiny rose heart. I am starting from the inside of the leg and coming out, and I'm not doing any kind of a fancy stitch here. I am just going around it just so it has a frame. I'm just going to do the same thing with the daisy lace heart. I'm just going to put a frame around it as well so it stands out and you have that 60s look that I love. So I changed around the placement of my patches. As you can see, I changed my mind. And these are the ones that I turned into iron-on patches, and I'm going to iron them all in place now. First, I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and I'm going to slide it in between the two legs here, the open seam that we made, so that when I iron on the patches, I do not adhere it to the other leg. So all you're going to do, it's so easy peasy, peel the backing off, place it where you like it, and then you're going to take your hot iron and you're going to leave it on it for 10 seconds, move it to another area, leave it on for 10 seconds. If you have a Cricut heat press, go ahead. It's so much better. I have one, but I didn't use it for this video because I figured not everybody has one. Let me show you how to do it with just a hot iron. And that's it. You're just going to press down on it 10 minutes, move it over to another area, keep pressing down 10 minutes. You do not need to use steam for this. Okay, now I'm just going to iron all the rest of my patches on that I made. I am taking this big cluster of gorgeous roses and I'm putting it on the edge of the leg because I want it to wrap around and come around to the back of the leg. Okay, and now for our final way to put these patches on. I am using Fabri-Tac glue. It is my #1 glue, my favorite glue. I use it for everything. They have Fabri-Tac and they have Fabri-Fix that you can use on other materials. I think it's fantastic. I wear gloves when I use it all the time. It doesn't burn my hands or anything. It just feels really cold and it's weird to me and I don't like the feelings, so I put on gloves. So I am just putting the Fabri-Tac glue on the back of the daisy lace heart, pressing it down, but what I usually do is I get wax paper and I get a little piece of wax paper and I will press it down, especially with a fabric like this that it's lacy and the glue is going to come right through. I press it down with a piece of wax paper. And now I'm using the Fabri-Tac glue on the roses that I want on here. So I have showed you 3 ways you can upcycle a pair of overalls. You can use Fabri-Tac glue, you can use heat and bond, or you could sew them on. Any way you do it, it's still going to look great. And now you got no reason why you can't make this, because it doesn't matter if you don't have a sewing machine, doesn't matter if you don't have an iron, you could get glue. You could do this whole thing in glue. And now I put on these beautiful crocheted pieces that I thrifted. Oh my God, I got a bag of these for like $2, I think it was. And they're so pretty. I've used them on several outfits that I made. Now I flip them around to do the back. Remember that big cluster of gorgeous roses? Well, here's the piece that's overlapping. I am just folding it over and I'm going to iron it. Make sure your overalls are creased nicely down the seam. This way it doesn't buckle and look weird after you're done. So that's it. I'm just going to iron that so it looks like it came around the back. When you get all your appliques on, you're going to turn your overalls inside out. You're going to pin them all the way up that leg. And we're going to take it over to the sewing machine, or you can use your Fabri-Tac glue if you're not sewing. And we're just going to sew this. You can actually use that heat and press hem stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And again, leave a comment below if you like these overalls, if you would wear these overalls, and if you are going to attempt to make these overalls. Hi Lovies! At the end of this video, I also modeled 2 of my upcycled jackets that I did. I had a few viewers who asked me to please model them. They wanted to see how they flowed when you put them on. So that's also at the end of this video. So if you want to watch that, and I will also put the link to those upcycled DIYs. Okay? Thank you for watching. Now for the final results. If you like content like this and you'd like to see more of this content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Let me know if you would wear these. Let me know if you're going to try to make these. Let me know if you're going to go to my Etsy shop and check out all the ones that I have up for sale. Enjoy the show.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out,
watching.